Hello, Ethernet fans. I'm the PC Expert Amateur, and we're going to take a look at the Arceli or Arceli. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. 1,000 megabit per second, 1x2 Ethernet splitter. It looks kind of snazzy, right? I think so, anyways. And it is powered by USB, which, given how short this cable is, that's a bit of a problem. It should be a longer cable. But I have other cables, and you can always buy another cable. I just think it's kind of crappy that they sent this tiny little cable. Then again, they used a tiny little box with tiny little instructions. Anywho, so the DC power is there, and then you plug in the source here, and then you plug in the Ethernet cables to these two ports. Now, if you would like to get a slight boost in your power, not really slight, but it is significant. It's not a major boost, but it's significant. Use Cat 7 or Cat 8. The newer the better, because those are designed to provide better throughput. Just a little tip for you. Now, I did try this. I unfortunately did not have the possibility of connecting two computers at the same time with this because I haven't yet gotten a second Cat 8 wire or cable. However, I did take the Cat 8 from my router to the port, the input port here, or what do you want to call that, the source port. And then I plugged in another Cat 8 to one of these and to my computer. And I tested with and without. When I tested without, I tried both of the Cat 8 cables and came up with pretty much the same results every single time within a normal margin of error. So it definitely does what it says it does as far as providing up to 1 gigabyte of speed, or gigabit, sorry. Now, I will point out here it says 1,000 Mbps. That's the same thing as 1 Gbps. And on here, it says 1 kmbp, which I don't know why they couldn't put the S on the end, but you can see that perhaps. And that's also the same thing. 1K is 1,000, and 1M is 1 million. So something like, million. So it's 1 billion, which is a giga. I don't know why they can't just use a bib. Wait a second. That's exactly why. Can you imagine if it was a bbyte? No wonder they went with giga. Sorry, I think that's funny. I don't know if you think it's funny, but tell me if you think that would have been a really, really humorous thing to do. I mean, I realize that people don't tend to think that. Sorry, I realize that people don't tend to think that computer people have a sense of humor, but we do have a sense of humor, and for me, that's kind of silly sounding, bbyte. But or byte. That would be also interesting to have to say all the time, and people would be like, "I have a byte of speed." Yeah, okay. What were you smoking this morning, or popping into your nose or mouth or whatever? So, anyways, it does what it says it's supposed to do. Now, when I got this, I chose this one over the other ones that were available to me at the time from my donor, because this one suggests, but doesn't out and out say, that each output port will provide a gigabit per second. So I doubt it, but maybe because of the magic of technology, plus this is a powered hub, or not hub, splitter, that it can do that. However, I doubt it. I really, really, really doubt it, because that means that the Cat 8 cables are going to have to, the one that's going to the source is going to have to actually carry up to 2 gigabits per second. And I don't know if Cat 8 can do that. And I say that, number one, because Cat 6A is 10 gigabits per second. Cat 8 is 40 gigabits per second. So theoretically, yes, it should be able to do 2 gigabits per second from the source, except for the fact that the source isn't 2 gigabits per second necessarily. And I don't happen to remember off the top of my head if my router can do 2 gigabits. I don't think so. It's kind of a little bit of an older one. It's a Cat 6. So maybe, but I doubt it. We'll see. We'll find out. And if I find out more about that, I will provide an update.
Okay, so I do have an update for you. I finally got a third Cat 8, and I connected all 3 of the Cat 8s to this switch and tested. So I had one going to here as the source from the router, and then I had one here, and the third one is plugged into my computer, so I'm not going to show you that one. So I had all 3 of these connected up, and I ran a test on my computer and my son's computer at the same time. They're very similar computers. And what I saw happening was that despite the claim on the listing that you would get 1 gigabit per second using the splitter, what actually happens is you share 1 gigabit between the 2 devices. And what I saw was a little bit weirder than that, because I saw one would start to overtake the other. So it looks like this splitter doesn't even have proper control to evenly split the speed or the bandwidth, even though they were doing exactly the same thing. Speedtest.net, Ookla's test. And so I'm going to downgrade my opinion of this. I mean, it's just like the other splitters that I looked at from the donor, and none of them actually can do what I was hoping they could do. But at least the other ones were honest on their listing. This one was not honest. So there's the update that I promised you. I've added it in. Thanks for watching.
So that's all there is to this. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I need to ask for your help. Things have been challenging. Whose life hasn't been challenging lately? So if you can please help me out by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and turning on notifications, that would be really, really super. Also, if you'd like to help me financially and you can't afford to, you can do a super thanks on my Glenn's Fast Reviews channel, or you can become a member there. Or if you prefer, you can go to patreon.com/GLENNMII and become a member there instead. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Bleeping Computer for their support of my channel. If you need resources for computers, for getting rid of malware and learning about cybersecurity and stuff, Bleeping Computer, BLEEPING computer.com is a great resource. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.